Our story begins, as these stories often do, with a young, up-and-coming politician. He's a deeply religious man and a member of the Conservative Party. He's completely single-minded and has no regard for the political process. The more power he attains, the more obvious his zealotry, and the more aggressive his supporters become. Eventually, his party launches a special project in the name of national security. At first, it's believed to be a search for biological weapons, and it's pursued without regard to its cost. However, the true goal of this project is power, complete and total hegemonic domination. The project, however, ends violently. But the efforts of those involved are not in vain, for a new ability to wage war is born from the blood of one of the victims. Imagine a virus. The most terrifying virus you can, and then imagine that you, and you alone, have the cure. But if your ultimate goal is power, how best to use such a weapon? It's at this point in our story that along comes a spider. He is a man seemingly without a conscience, for whom the ends always justify the means, and it is he who suggests that their target should not be an enemy of the country, but rather the country itself. Several hundred die within the first few weeks.
That Three Waters has, in fact, been contaminated.
Authorities are attempting to control its deadly spread.
Sent a wave of destruction throughout the underground.
Fueled by the media, fear and panic spread quickly, fracturing and dividing the country until at last the true goal comes into view. Before the St. Mary's crisis, no one would have predicted the results of the election that year, no one. And then not long after the election, lo and behold, a miracle. Some believed it was the work of God himself, but it was a pharmaceutical company controlled by certain party members that made them all obscenely rich. But the end result, the true genius of the plan, was the fear. Fear became the ultimate tool of this government, and through it, our politician was ultimately appointed to the newly created position of High Chancellor. The rest, as they say, is history.
I suddenly had this feeling that everything was connected. It's like I could see the whole thing. One long chain of events that stretched all the way back before Rock Hill. I felt like I could see everything that had happened. And everything that was going to happen. Like a perfect pattern laid out in front of me. And I realized that we were all part of it. And all trapped by it.
So do you know what's going to happen?
How many went out? So far we killed 8 boxcars, 800,000 women. I want anyone caught with one of those masks arrested.
Let the masquerade commence.
Eyes wide shut, are you caught up in the masquerade? Covert operation used to masquerade, the path is paved. Pedophiles with maps to caves, private dinner parties, children's blood inside their cabinets. Sangria means blood, that ain't grapes inside your Alizé. Adrenochrome rims on the bandwagon is packed with slaves. The miners where the matter's made. Geometries and spiral triangles inside the patterns laid. Poison that they pass for aid, but they really passing AIDS. With the dilly, dumb and silly, Dutch and Philly, what you really have to say? Nothing new, watch your world just pass away statistic warfare. Using math grenades, you're that afraid whose arms are strong enough to swim against the tides and crash the waves. Implore me for the lofty thoughts I hand them till they clap for days and wash their hands and sanitize. The body poison that is causing symptoms that the man describes. Satan is demanding lies. Kalik, Zodiac is there explaining what they can't describe or see through the camera's eye. Doctor means to falsify, it's all a lie. The mass lady writes by the roadside. Quarantine for 40 days and nights. In deserted streets, my words release the learning plague. Lyrically, I burn the beast who stands in hellfire for years and never burn my legs. Burn the sage, burn the stage, burning rage. Turn the page, serpent's gaze. Hypnotize the clowns inside the circus maze.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade. Masquerade.
It's the masquerade.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade.
There is no corona. Somebody should have told you.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade. Masquerade.
It's only masquerade.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade.
Man, my crown's the corona. Somebody should have told you. Yo, sad and eating children, spirit cooking with no pots and pans. They knew the hourglass was tilting slowly, couldn't stop the sand. Kalik, Zodiac has watched me kick it like a soccer fan. Every story that they get, they spit it like my Shaka fans will turn Adam's apple to American pie. How you scared to death but let yourself get buried alive? When you hear me, there's a feeling you can barely describe. Information from the news, you can rarely rely. Kobe buried in Corona, what's beef but a cow? It's all connected, listen, I show you how. This cow is vaccine, black mamas from Kill Bill. Jason is real ill, that black means Saturn, the Saturn that builds gates. And Pluto is a bill of debt, it's no mistake. Mama is the snake from death, there's no escape. Connect the codes I break, black mamba logo simply is the same as the WHO. World health scare, organs in my flesh play they self, yeah, Asclepius, Exodus, shit ain't never felt fair. These rough times get harder than a man from it. They all blind, it's part of the plan. Dumb it, the father, they ran from it. The heart of the grand summit, they eating you alive. I'm an artist, they can't stomach. You can tell they monsters reading spells upon us through the teleprompters. Hypnosis, feel me, it gets hopeless. Higher knowledge turn hip-hop to hypnosis.
Masquerade.
It's the masquerade.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade.
There is no corona. Somebody should have told you.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade. Masquerade.
It's only masquerade.
I wore a ski mask and glove to the masquerade.
Man, my crown's the corona. Somebody should have told you.
By wearing a mask, you could be putting yourself at even more risk. People do not.
Masquerade.
So all these masks are floating around out there. Which ones do health officials say you should use? None of them.